question I don't want to ask Alan Toast. Sweet. Alright, I think we're good. Streaming health good. Oh, you're doing live?
Yeah, man.
Oh, cool.
Oh, are you nervous now?
No!
He's nervous.
No, I've done live before.
Alright, cool. Alright, what's up everybody? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture. Derek Capo, TokenPay. Just got off stage like a few minutes ago, basically.
Yes, I did.
Was able to get him, come on the channel, hang out for a few. First of all, man, I have to say, thank you so much for yesterday. You spent like a good amount of time helping my wife Sarah and I with our travel plans for our honeymoon. Very well versed in travel.
Unofficial travel agent, I guess. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. So thanks for that, man. But yeah, a bunch of questions came in on Twitter. First of all,
yeah,
I definitely want to cover some of them for everybody out there that was asking. But I think I saw in a video earlier September you mentioned, is this one of the first conferences you guys were invited to or speaking at?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
which one? This one?
Yeah.
Yes, this is this is the first one. I mean, we did one in June in Amsterdam. Pretty fun, Amsterdam. But it wasn't really business oriented. It was just kind of showing like what was going on between the Verge community and TokenPay, because we did a partnership with them, and then this is our first official business one. I've been trying to avoid a lot of conferences just because we're focusing on our product. Once our product is launched, and sometime next year we'll just be on full circuit probably. It's a lot of money though, these conferences.
Right.
Yeah.
And plus you're all over the world.
I am right now. Yeah. Like I spend probably, I want to say maybe even next year already 3 or 4 months in Romania, at least a month in Switzerland and parts of Germany, and then the US and conferences and stuff. So it's pretty chaotic.
You're building a nice team, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, Romania is basically where our tech team is. That's where we're going to keep on hiring people there, as well as customer support. Eventually, we have launched all the services. Given the opportunities there are in Central and South America, we'll probably have some customer support tech teams as well for some of these divisions in Costa Rica. So there's a lot of cool things happening.
Yeah.
But we're global. We're pretty global. So
yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're one of the unique ones. You're a project. You raise a good amount of money when you launch and everything, but you're doing something. You're actually building a team.
We're legit.
Go figure.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that happening. And in there, I think you mentioned the good talent is moving to the blockchain, right? And
yeah.
That's something you noticed firsthand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were able to get people that were working at payment companies and just just companies that you can tell they're on kind of like the last mile more or less, and they're just like looking for something new and innovative, and they're just like this is an amazing opportunity, and it's an exciting time, right?
Yeah.
So I even told our new CTO, I said, you don't even have to say much, just say TokenPay blockchain job, and they'll get at least the second word of that phrase, and they'll be interested.
That's
so
very true.
Yeah,
very true. So we're definitely going to hop over to some Twitter questions, some random ones.
Sure, it's okay. Yeah,
but
a lot of random questions.
One personal question. One question I have personally is so the word bank.
Yeah.
And crypto, they don't always mix in this environment, right? And with a lot of people, they hear the word bank and they're very turned off. So I'm just curious how you navigated through those waters, throughout the last few months and partnerships and things that you've done. Yeah,
I mean, if you really think about it, everybody looks at a bank as some institution that's actually you go and you deposit your money and you get loans, but the word bank actually does not mean that. It just means to store money, right? So your mattress can be a bank, right? Or a purse can be a bank, right? And I think it's just that crypto, it's got like this little somewhat stigma, right? But when I talk to people all over the world, I say there is really no difference between crypto and cash. And there really is no difference between a bank that you go to versus the bank that you control. The difference is that banking system is not debt oriented, meaning let's say you have $1,000 in your mattress, right, or $1,000 worth of Litecoin. There's no debt behind that. When you go and you deposit money into a bank anywhere in the world, 80% of that money can be loaned out to somebody else. And the bank's business models are that if everybody takes money at the same time, it dies. Yeah. That's we call it a bank run, right? So when it comes to regulations and kind of introducing this stuff, I just tell everybody there really is no difference. It's just that one system is built a certain way and this one's built a completely different way. Yeah. I'm a proponent of not dealing with that. I don't agree with that. I think it's bad. I think it controls people. It controls people's dreams. It really limits people. And to me, it's just one of those things that we need to get rid of, as a society to really we're too addicted to debt.
Right.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, it's like you're essentially redefining what a bank
we're
is.
redefining what a bank is, right? And it's not just us. It's crypto in general is the first primary to that, and the second level is what we're trying to do to make it a more organized infrastructure, because it is still very extremely difficult for anybody to be able to just hold cryptocurrency. It's just not something that's going to happen. Look at it like this. The computer was invented around, I guess, in the 70s and 80s. And the reality was that more people were exposed and purchased computers when the smartphones came out.
Yeah.
Think about that, right? And that's what crypto is going through right now. We're back in 1982 dealing with old processor computers, and we haven't got that point where it's extremely easy for everybody.
Very true.
So that's basically what I see and where we're moving towards.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say TokenPay is like an institution with currencies that will flow from it?
Yeah, I mean we're building an infrastructure that's going to benefit the cryptocurrencies that are in our ecosystem. So, Litecoin, Bitcoin, TokenPay, Ethan, which is our decentralized coin, as well as Verge.
Yeah.
So we want to keep it with those and only those, and then eventually, if we see some other opportunity, we'll definitely add something else to it.
Cool. So one thing I'm also interested in is how do you build a consumer-driven product to actually get consumers to come in?
Not easy.
It's not easy.
No,
right?
of course not. So
is it one of the biggest challenges? Or?
Absolutely. I think the way we looked at it is you need to have multiple levers in order to be able to make all of this work, and not all of them are going to work today. Some of them will work tomorrow. Some will work a year or two from now. So, but I want the opportunity to people go to our infrastructure. They have no reason or choice to say no, I can't do this, or I won't do this. Because if some business says, well, I can't use your app because you haven't done this yet. It's like, well, no, that's not true. We haven't. Oh, I don't want to do this, or I want to buy crypto, but I don't know how. Yeah, you can. It's with a credit card right here. It's like, so that's the way I look at businesses. Every time some potential customer comes into our business, we want to make sure that they don't leave, right? So what options do I have for them to say, hey, don't leave.
Yeah.
And this is it. And like you said, to build a consumer model like that, you need to have other businesses that are going to attract that. So, for example, gambling is definitely an opportunity because there's a market there, right?
Yeah.
But we have plans to build out a bunch of other websites and work with other partners and start integrating stuff. Yeah. So it just takes time.
It takes time.
Yes.
And patience.
A lot of patience.
Patience.
A lot of patience. Right. People really don't know what that word is until they go through a couple bear markets.
I mean, a lot of the questions on Twitter were actually
When Moon.
Exactly, man. I'm serious.
You can buy your When Moon shirts at moondick.com, by the way. Funny name.
There you go. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
So I've been asking this question a lot just because I'm curious, like, of your thoughts, which is, the line between compliance and regulation and no compliance and regulation, right? Mm-hmm. So Shapeshift is a good example.
Yeah.
Just last week with the KYC.
Yeah.
What are, you don't have to go in depth about it, but what is your opinion in terms of, people are getting upset, like, oh, sell out, why do that? But isn't it almost necessary at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. In order to really spur the growth, you need to have rules, right? I think that's the only way that you can really have the mass adoption. But there's always going to be an opportunity or infrastructure in place where you can have transactions anonymously and converted and stuff like that. And Ethan is providing that.
Yeah.
So Ethan, our decentralized exchange, is about you holding your own coins and being able to track and trade without really doing any like serious KYC. Now, if you want to have a bank account and convert to the system, the fiat system, you have no choice. You have to apply and abide by all those rules. I mean, there's no way that Coinbase is going to spend the hundreds of millions or billions of dollars that it's spent and, oh no, we're not going to do KYC. Exactly. They're going to lose everything. Exactly. So Shapeshift's problem was that they grew on a no KYC system, and now they have to kind of conform. They're going to get hit on growth because it's going to move somewhere else. But at the end of the day, I don't think Eric Voorhees wants to go to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the reality.
Exactly.
I mean, he's definitely created his wealth. I mean, he sold Satoshi Dice for 100 and something thousand Bitcoin when it was a couple $100, and they're just not going to take that risk. And I think his thought process is very similar to kind of what we say is like, we will not go to jail because of somebody else's greed.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's just the what we have to deal with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, he's passionate about it.
He's very passionate.
He said it sucks himself, you know, it's not, but...
And I think he's got an opinion about KYC and AML. I mean, I think a lot of people do, but think about it. How can you do KYC and AML with somebody that has no background or no identification?
Yeah.
Like, what is there? Well, there's no paper documents because I was born in a house, and the government that I, dealt with, so I'll give you a story just to show you how deep this is.
Yeah.
My wife was born in China, and she was born during the time that it was illegal to have the second child in China. Okay? And my mother-in-law was pregnant with her, but we're really big close, and she had a little bit of like a hip thing, a little bit of disability, and the reality was that she started acting crazy to all the government officials that would come into her house to check that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
So she would start acting like she had Tourette's, right? And eventually, her daughter was born in the house, hidden from the government for months, and then eventually the law passed that they could have a second child in the village, because in the village you could first, and then eventually the city. If she wasn't, she would have to be fictitiously put in somebody else's name, all that stuff, and it's not really true. It was all false documentation. But there's plenty of people out there all over the world, because China, I mean, it's developed, but there's places that are worse developed that have no documentation of anything.
Yeah.
They're not even in a system. They're just not. So it really limits to a lot of those people. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Philippines, Mexico, Africa. Yeah. So KYC really is limiting them, but it also really is about debt. Yeah. People don't really realize that KYC means that it allows you to use financial products. If it allows you to use financial products, then basically it allows you to go into this debt vortex to buy and get credit card debt and stuff.
Very true.
So there's a lot of things.
No, man, that does go deep.
It's deep.
You're like digging.
Yeah, and I think people don't really talk about this stuff, and it's because I've been in finance for a long time, and I saw all of that stuff happen with the housing crisis. And think about it. I mean, part of the housing crisis cause was because of the they called ninja loans, which is no income, no jobs. How is it possible that somebody with no income, no job can buy a house? Yeah. Right. Yeah. And when you start to really see that that whole process go in, you say, okay, it's meant to control, it's meant to do this, and unfortunately, some institutions are not very nice. Yeah. Some are, don't get me wrong, but some institutions are not very nice, and they know the game. So.
Yeah. I think it's important for people to really kind of grasp it and understand it. Yeah. As the space grows, especially.
I think the more you travel, I think the more you can really see the world, and I think you can really see what's going on. Yeah. And, people here all the time tell me, oh, this is a poor part of town, da da da, and I'm like, yeah, right. You don't know what poverty is, man. Like, go to China, parts of China, then you'll see what poverty is like. Or go parts of Africa, that's poverty. Like, you're living a nice lifestyle, right? So, I think the more you travel, I think you'll be able to see what's going on, and the world changes, and the perspective and all that. So,
and it's all about perspective.
It is all about perspective, yes.
Cool. So let's hop over to some of these Twitter questions.
Go ahead, yeah.
I was surprised. A bunch came in. I tried to choose.
It's great to crowdsource questions, right?
I know, right? You said it. That was actually your idea, too.
Yeah.
Cool. So this first one comes from Bitu. It says, what benefit will Litecoin and TokenPay collaboration bring to the crypto world?
Yeah, I think it's all about the ecosystem that we're building out. All of the stuff that we're building is definitely to attract attention to crypto, but also for crypto users today to start using it. And the whole point is that all of these businesses that we have are all going to have mechanisms for growth to allow them to spread, awareness of all of this stuff. So whether it's an affiliate program or, join and get some free coins or something like that, it's definitely a way to get people introduced to this stuff. I really looked at what happened with WeChat in China and how they basically gave money away by shaking your phone and sending money to people. And I think that if you have triggers like that, people who are into money are going to sell, and they're going to be motivated to pitch it to 1,000 people. And there's going to be people out there that are going to like it, and they're going to share because they like it. Yeah. So I think that there's a lot of opportunities, and I think that that's going to help us as TokenPay. It's going to help Litecoin. It's going to help the community in general. Yeah. But it's also going to separate the weak from the strong. Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's kind of why we have this strong partnerships with all these people, because there's going to be a war out there with against crypto to crypto, and
oh yeah, man.
Yeah, we have to be prepared for partnerships. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And it's probably pretty sweet being here, right? All these Litecoin people.
Sure. So. Yeah, and it's different. Every conference is a little different. I try to stay away from some of the other conferences and so focus on business. But I came to Litecoin obviously because of the partnership stuff. But the average age of the person here is a little bit older than I expected, honest. But it's good. It means that people are interested, and I think they're also a bit tired of what their options are.
Yeah,
and I think that's very fascinating. You know, I saw a guy in the 70s, and he's like, about crypto. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm really, really impressed, and actually really excited about that, actually, because if the grandfather can teach grandkids something, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's one we got a lot was, when does the EFIN distribution start?
Yeah, ETH will probably launch sometime in November, December. We have already released our white paper. We had a few plans of what we're going to do with the distribution. We're going to change a few things, actually, to create more awareness and triggers to grow. We had a distribution that if you own TokenPay, you get. That's still not going to change. We'll reduce that, but we have to have more of an incentive for people to use a decentralized exchange. A decentralized exchange is extremely hard to build because you really need people trading. You can't have like bots or anything like that. You really need people trading because the coins never stay in the exchange. They get within wallet to wallet.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more difficult. It's like a software you have to download. And it's like literally entering not a game, but you have to download software and enter to be able to start using it. It's not web-based because you don't want your coins on a web in a hot wallet.
No.
So.
So and that question came in a lot, and I'm wondering.
Sure, everybody likes EFIN.
Yeah, and I think you said when it will be around, right?
Yeah.
I think it's more of them saying.
What date?
Come on.
You want me to announce a date? No, I'm not going to announce a date. Excitement. No, it's going to be either November, December. So pick a date there.
This was interesting. I mean, I wanted to get your perspective on this question. Somebody said, why put a lot on your plate from the beginning? Merchant payment system, an exchange, a bank.
Yeah.
Why not focus on one thing at a time?
Because, believe it or not, all of these things take a long time to do. And you don't want to be kind of doing one thing and then doing another thing. By that time, you're going to lose a little bit of your competitive advantage. The merchant service is really our primary focus because that's really the starting point. Then the mobile wallet basically connects all of that, and then the bank. If the regulators approve everything that the TokenPay Swiss is trying to do, it'll be until like next year.
Yeah.
So what am I going to be doing? Waiting for that to happen? Exactly. So I'm trying to build stuff. So yeah, we're announcing all this stuff, but the reality is some of this stuff takes months to do. I mean, 6 months, 9 months, maybe a year. So I'm not going to sit down and wait. I'm just going to start building stuff.
Yeah.
And once those things start building, remember, all of this is all going to be integrated into like one thing, right? So the bank stuff could be integrated with one. And it doesn't have to be the German bank. It could be another bank in the States or somewhere in Africa or LATAM. We can integrate with them. Just start doing stuff. So it's all building the kind of infrastructure there, and eventually all of this starts to kind of take place.
Yeah. So to really answer the question, he's trying to be efficient here.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Cool.
That is probably the shorter way of answering that question.
Well, I mean, I think it's
more
also,
with our time, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a great trait to have, is being efficient,
right?
Quick on getting things rolling.
It's like when you kind of do like an investment for a portfolio, whether it's stocks or something. I always in the hedge fund said, well, this is a short-term investment, a medium term, and a long term. And the hedge funds were like, well, we don't want anything long term. We want short term. We have to meet our numbers. And I said, well, no, what I mean is it's a good value right now, but the story may take longer. But we may miss out the opportunity of buying it at this price. Yeah, exactly. We don't know, but it could do really well in 3 months. It could be 9 months, but there's the triggers. Some are event specific. Yes. There's a buyout. You could buy for X price today, and you may make 20%, IRR. So every decision that we made was short, medium term, and long term.
That's a really good point.
So when I look at these businesses and what we're building out, the pipeline, it's not a pipeline for 3 months, it's a pipeline for years. Yeah. And all of this stuff is just all being built out, and eventually there'll be growth factors for all of that. Yeah. Some will kick off really fast, some will kick off really long term, but it's fine. Yeah. It's all part of the whole plan.
That's a good point. You have to literally anticipate so many different layers of what's going to happen in the future when you're building it.
That's correct, yeah. I mean, we could do the whole gaming, gambling thing, and it can take off. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have it there, but it can take off, and that'd be great. Great, we can use the profits there or money there and start funneling into other parts of the business. But the point is that can happen. It could be 2 years from now when crypto's more up. I mean, there's all these things, right?
Go figure.
Yeah.
This is a really tough question.
Sure.
Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Crunchy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked that?
Somebody did, and I was like, I got it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I like crunchy your peanut butter too.
Yeah. You gotta feel the nuts.
Right?
You gotta feel the nuts.
It just makes it taste better. So where does he see himself in 5 years? I thought that was a good one.
Where do I see myself? Oh, hopefully not a nervous breakdown. No. Where do I see ourselves? I would like to see hundreds of thousands of merchants using our system. I'd like to see millions of users using our system. I would like to see all of the businesses that we have kind of flourishing and doing really well, and potentially having our own summit, sometime somewhere in the world. Yeah, I mean, that's what I see the business. I don't really I don't really
I hear you. It's a tough question.
Yeah, I know. It's not like I'm going to be in a Lambo somewhere. No, I don't. Or have a Lambo. So it's like, no, that's not really my motivation.
Somebody asked that.
Yeah, it's.
Did you see that response? I think I showed you that when they asked your favorite car and then the TokenPay.
Oh yeah, I have an 11-year-old Jeep, not a Honda. So yeah, it's just I lost the concept of wanting to buy a car when I lived in China for 8 years because it cost 2 RMB Liangkuai to basically go from point A to point Z in China, and it was so cheap to just get a driver for like $5 to drive all over Beijing in the traffic. So I was like, why the hell would I want to buy a car in the smog, drive in the traffic? Like, there's no point. So my desire of owning, I need a car in Miami, but to actually have a really nice car, it just kind of just disappeared a bit. So yeah.
Well, again, all about perspective, right?
It is, and it just point A to point B. I go to my office. I travel all the time. It's like I don't even have time to really enjoy it anyway. But I did. I don't have a 45-minute commute. Right? If I had a 45-minute commute, maybe I would be motivated to buy a nice car. But my commute's like 6 minutes to my temporary office. So, and I travel. So, but yeah, everybody thinks that I'm buying Lambos or spending money on stupid shit. I don't do any of that. No. Yeah.
I'll end with this question. It's a good one. I think I already know your answer, but ask him if he's glad he started his journey, TokenPay. And this person said they're glad.
Yeah, absolutely, very glad. I mean, no regrets whatsoever. This has been, I think, what I want to kind of showcase and tell people from the young people out there is that this has been a long journey. This is not something that I just kind of came up with and I did it. It was a lot of conversations with my business partner, kind of influencing, hey, like we really need to do something. He knew that I can definitely execute. That's kind of why we work very, very well together. But this has been happening since I was 15, 16 when I was studying the stock market, getting involved with a hedge fund, understanding the financial structure, learning business in China, the problems of money in China, the speed of technology, the adoption, all of that stuff. And all of that has been culminated into this like one thing. So everybody, you're kind of receiving this polished version of like who I was when I was 15, and I think people need to be patient about how life is and how your journey in life is, right? And to me, it's like extremely important to focus on building what I call the Batman utility belt. And basically, you should always be looking at learning different skills and just adding it to your utility belt because you never know when you're going to need it, right? Which is a batarang, or whether it's the one to catapult to the top of the building or whatever it is, you never know. And I think people really need to understand that I've been through a lot. I've got a lot of experience, a few things here and there, but I think that they also have to understand that that's life and they should be patient and things will eventually kind of fall into place.
Yeah.
So
cool, man. I really appreciate you being here. And I can say, from having a conversation with you, I can tell there's a lot of wisdom here. I just want to throw that out there. No, it's good. And so if you're a TokenPay fan, I think you're in good hands here. It's been cool getting to know you.
Awesome.
And again, I really appreciate you taking some time chatting with us.
Sure.
And we'll be obviously following you very closely. So
awesome.
Thanks, man.
Not too close, just All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, sure.
And thank you all for watching. Appreciate you guys. We'll obviously be checking in again. So we'll see you on the next video. And God bless. Cool, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah.